So I was thinking, and I was like thinking about my time here. I was thinking about the experiences that I've had. I was thinking about the memories and how they do fit in these three categories: the past, the present, and the future, regarded as a whole. So I look back at my first year here, getting to the parking lot, pulling up, and not knowing anyone. And I walk through those doors, and the balloons are outside, and everyone, all the staff is there, and a lot of people I didn't recognize. And I walk through there, and I'm like, this is amazing, this is so cool. As nervous as I was, I immediately sat down and was talked to a few people, and I don't know how to explain this, but from the minute that I sat down, it felt like home. I remember sitting in this room where I am right now, applying for the college, scared out of my mind. I was afraid that I wouldn't get in. I was afraid that people wouldn't like me. I was afraid of all these other things, opinions and concerns that didn't even matter. And I was almost this close to not applying to Free Chapel College. And I'm so thankful that I applied and that I stepped into it and that I didn't listen to the voice of fear and then I just pressed forward. But that's part of the time. That was my past. And even those classes that I had that I didn't know what I was getting into, but we had these classes with Pastor Tim, Pastor Jason, Pastor Kendrick, Pastor Blake, Pastor Robert, and Pastor David Cipher. We had all these classes in the beginning of the year, and Pastor Jason as well, and we learned so much. I remember Pastor Blake saying this one quote that has stuck with me throughout this whole experience. It said, "Are you on your way to minister? Are you ministering on your way?" And he used the story of the Good Samaritan and how these people who were on their way to minister overlooked someone who was in need. And he referenced that to us a lot of times in our busyness and in our stress and in our life, that we go and we move forward and we ignore the people that are right beside us that need to be ministered to. So ministry is not about where you're going, it's about what you're doing on the way, and that what you're doing on the way, and that stuck with me. It stuck with me throughout my whole experience here, and I'm so thankful for that. And there's a scripture in there that says, though I go through many various trials and though I go through hard times, I'm paraphrasing, that I will count it all on joy, that I will count it on joy when I face these things. And that's kind of been my story throughout this process at Free Chapel College. There's been a lot of personal things with my mom being sick and other stuff like that going on at home that have just been coming crashing in like waves in the storm. But I look back at that verse and what I've learned through those classes, and I count it on joy, that I really hold fast to the joy of the Lord through those situations, and I've seen him really show up in a powerful way. Some of the other things that I learned and gleaned from my experience here at Free Chapel was our practicums. Our practicums taught us practical things about leading worship. We learned about how to build song sets, how to work with planning a center. We also learned some music theory to help us with the musical side of things. And one of the things that I really want to point out about my whole experience here, from practicum to classes, was how approachable and invested the pastors of this church and the leaders of this church want to be in our lives. And they really opened up their hearts and their wisdom and their minds to talk to us and pour into us, and for that I'm really grateful. So this last year, which is kind of the present and now it's going to become the past, has been amazing. And I've grown so much, and grown with Noon Prayer and leading that, and grown with a lot of other things throughout the church, with helping with administration stuff and helping with some event planning. And I've just grown so much and built so many relationships on top of that practical side. But I really do want to focus on the spiritual side of things. When I came to Free Chapel, I was very broken inside, and I didn't realize how broken I was, because I thought I had to put up a front of perfection almost. And so I came to the college not trusting and having a hard time to trust. And throughout the process here of seeing how my leaders lead and how leadership works in this church and how they are people of character and integrity and honesty, I've gained so much healing. I've gained a new perspective on life. I've gained discipline. But overall, I've gained such healing in my heart, because the leaders that I've been surrounded by and the leaders that I've poured into my life are people I can trust. And I've personally never had relationship like I've had here, with leadership and with friends and with the people around me. And there's been seasons where life has gotten hard and difficult, and I was able to lean and trust on these people that when I couldn't do things on my own and I needed help, they were there. I look back at the person that I used to be 2 years ago, and I probably wouldn't recognize him because I'm so different and I'm so changed. And for that, I'm everly grateful and so thankful to Free Chapel College and to God for placing me here, because I've truly changed. And that's my story of being here, my time here, my present, my past, my future. And if I look at it as a whole, I just can't be anything else but thankful for everything that's happened in this experience and in this journey.